Greetings.
Greetings.
Greetings, everyone.
You're about to hear a story.
And you're gonna have some fun.
We've a story. A story?
A story to tell to you.
Telling you a story is what we're here to do. Today's story is about a man named Jonah. One day, God spoke to Jonah
And told him to go to the city of Nineveh.
The city was filled with wicked people
who didn't want to obey God.
God was not happy with the people of Nineveh. And he wanted Jonah to go and talk to them.
But Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. He didn't like the Ninevites because they were so mean and wicked.
They're so mean and wicked.
He went in another direction to another city. And this is where our story begins.
I'm not going to Nineveh.
So Jonah went to the city of Joppa, which was located along the sea. There he found a ship that was headed to Tarshish.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are you headed?
Oh, I'm headed somewhere, all right.
You don't say.
Yep, I sure am.
You don't say.
Yep, I am out of here.
You don't say.
What'd he say?
He didn't say. Well, I say. We better get going if we're gonna make it to Tarshish by nightfall.
Tarshish? Did someone say Tarshish? Could I join you going to Tarshish?
Sure, I suppose.
Great. I want to get as far away from this place as I can.
Sure, why not? We can always use another hand. Come aboard, Sonny.
So Jonah joined the sailors on their way to Tarshish. They hadn't been sailing long when all of a sudden God sent a terrible storm their way. The wind was blowing very hard.
Boy, that wind's blowing awful hard.
The seas were getting really rough.
The seas are getting really rough.
It's probably just a small storm passing through.
But then again,
The wind continued to blow harder. The water was getting rougher. The waves were getting higher. The boat was being tossed back and forth so violently that the sailors threw up. Their arms held each other so they wouldn't fall out of the boat.
I'm afraid the boat might break apart.
That makes two of us.
Waves were crashing in all around them. The boat was filling with water. The sailors were scared.
We're scared.
Jonah was terrified.
You can say that again.
Jonah was terrified.
You can say that again.
Fearing for their lives, the sailors called out to their gods for help.
help us, oh great one!
Deliver us from this terrible storm.
Don't let us die!
The sailors began throwing the ship's cargo overboard, hoping that it would help keep the ship from sinking. While they were doing this, Jonah went below deck. A short while later, the captain found Jonah asleep.
How can you sleep at a time like this? We prayed to our God for help now. Now get yourself up and pray to your God for help. Maybe he'll show us some mercy and spare our lives.
Jonah and the captain went back on deck.
We'll all draw straws to see which one of us has made the gods angry.
Well, that sounds fair.
Count me in.
You know,
Each of them took a straw and covered it with their hand, not wanting to reveal it to the others.
all right, now let's see what you got.
Look it out, fellas.
Woo-wee.
Him and we. Hallelujah!
Since none of the sailors had the shortest straw, it could only mean one thing.
2 out of 3, boys.
What have you done to create this terrible storm?
Who are you?
What do you do?
Where did you come from?
Jonah replied,
I am an Israelite. I worship the God of heaven, the God who created the seas and the land.
Why are you here? And what have you done to put us in such great danger?
I ran away from God.
Unbelievable.
But why?
He wanted me to go to Nineveh, but I didn't want to go, so I ran away.
What were you thinking?
the storm continued to get worse. The boat couldn't take much more. Things were getting desperate.
What can we do to end this storm?
Well, you can throw me over the side.
You've got to be kidding. The waves are so high, you don't stand a chance.
If you throw me over the side, the seas will become calm again. I know that this storm is all my fault.
Well, I think if we work together.
I don't know.
Oh, it's worth a try.
Maybe it'll work.
The sailors rowed as hard as they could, but the sea was so rough and the waves so high that they couldn't do it. They knew what they had to do. they would have to do what Jonah suggested. They had to throw him into the sea. So they cried out to Jonah's God.
Oh, God! Don't make us die for what Jonah done!
Please don't be mad at us for throwing him into the sea.
God, you have sent this storm for your own good reasons!
Please spare us.
And with that, the sailors picked Jonah up and threw him into the raging sea. The storm stopped. The sea became calm and the wind quieted down. The sailors were so in awe of God's great power, they promised to serve him. But God didn't leave Jonah to drown.
Well, at least the seas are calm now. I should be able to stay afloat for a while.
God sent a big fish to save Jonah.
That sure is an awful big fish.
In one giant gulp, the fish swallowed Jonah. Jonah was in the fish for 3 days and nights. By the third night, Jonah knew what he had to do.
God, I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. Now look where I am, stuck inside the belly of a fish. I know that running away was wrong, but I'm ready for what you want me to do now. God, please forgive me.
God did forgive Jonah.
He ordered the fish to spit out Jonah onto the beach.
And it did,
Then Jonah went to Nineveh.
just as God had asked him.
God gave Jonah a second chance, and this time, Jonah listened.